We really try to attack a few things just with him individually, just a couple of specific things. And I thought he's made some progress, but now the big trick is you start playing 5-on-5 basketball is can he pinpoint the opportunities to utilize those things he's been working on, in live basketball. I mean, that's always the hard thing. And that's one of the hardest things with player development is, you work on things individually or in a small group setting is how do you apply that 5-on-5. And so that's what we're trying to help him with right now. And, I think the past few days I've felt a little bit of progress.
Why do you think he struggled in the tournament when you look back on it?
He played some good teams, and he played some really good players. And, sometimes, when you play that kind of that 4 spot like he does, there's some tough matchups out there. And, you play against, some, players like, from TCU or, Houston, in some of those Big 12 type teams. And maybe the guy you're playing against isn't a pro, but he's a pit bull and he's hard to play against. And, so I think that's an area where Zoo has to, make some gains, and it's something we definitely have attacked it as a learning opportunity. And I'm hopeful, he could show that. I'm sure the results won't be perfect, but hopefully the trend is in a positive direction.
I will Larson have all conference type potential.
I hope so. Yeah, I think so for sure. I just met with Pella, and literally that's why I'm late down here. And Pella's, I think he's, on pace for a really good year. And, I think, Pella has to kind of, manifest a little bit of his success, and he has to have a little bit more belief in himself because he's a really good basketball player, and he's definitely trending in the right direction. And, I'm excited to see how the journey goes for him this year.
How do you contrast sitting there right now from where you were sitting there a year ago?
Wow. How do I contrast that? Well, I'm probably more comfortable, here. I don't know if I'm more comfortable if that means we're going to win more games or not. And I really am a one day at a time approach. So, I've kind of, it's been a busy off season for me, and I'm thankful we kind of got through, this fall stuff, and I'm ready to coach full steam ahead. That's where I'm at right now. So, I'm sure last year at this time I was kind of feeling the same thing. I've always had a lot of belief in myself, so I'm not going to sit here and act like I believe in myself more now than I did last year. That's not the case. But I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm always excited about the journey for each individual team. Because to me that's where I find the joy. It's not always in the end results. It's taking each team and each individual player on that team through the journey. And so, I feel like I can feel that happening. So I'm excited.
What did you learn the most from a year ago? Moving over a seat, time consumption, time on the court.
Yeah, I learned that we do too many press conferences at Arizona. So I've learned that. No, I'm sure I've learned a lot. Obviously there was a lot of changes in my life, but like I've told you guys before, I'm thankful that once it started happening that I was prepared for it. And, I'm thankful that I took my time and found the right spot for me. And when that opportunity became available, I was ready for it. So I'm thankful for that. I love coaching. I love teaching basketball. So, I don't know. I don't know if I can give you the right philosophical answer you're looking for on that one. I'm sorry about that.
How have you seen Philip adjust from serving against the U.S. since he's out of Tucson?
It's been a big adjustment for him, and it's continuing to be an adjustment. But I love that kid. He's fun to coach. He's hard on himself, but he smiles a lot. And I think he's going to be a really good player. I don't know exactly what that's going to look like this year. But, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibilities for him to help the team this year. And I think he's got a big jump just, sitting out there on the horizon waiting for him. We just got to get him there, and he's got to get enough reps and enough experience and some battle scars, I think, to access that jump, but I think we're getting close.
Do you talk to guys about taking on leadership roles on the team? Do you let it happen naturally? And who are you hoping to get that from?
It's a three-layered question. Yeah, I never know. I mean, it's something that I think is important, but I also think it has to be organic a little bit, I've never been a big guy to vote on captains or this or that. I think that happens naturally, and I mean, we're a small unit, I mean, really, when you boil it down, we just don't have hundreds of bodies around. So we're a smaller unit, so I think the coaches can provide a lot of leadership as well. I'm not downplaying any of that, the responsibility on the players, but I think, between the coaches and some of your experienced players and guys that have natural leadership qualities, I think it all kind of works itself out. But definitely something I'm mindful of, and I do pay attention to. I just prefer to let it happen more organically rather than try to script it.
Tommy, can you compare and contrast last year's squad versus this year's squad in athleticism and ability to go fast?
I mean, man, I'm a now and next guy, so it's hard for me. I don't know. I mean, a lot of it's I don't know. I mean, we're going to try to play fast. I mean, that's how I like to play, and that's how I think it's most advantageous for us. Obviously we lost some high-end players, but those were really talented guys. But I think sometimes we focus on the talent we saw at the end, as opposed to the talent we saw at the beginning of the season. And I was talking to Pella about that. I mean, and I've talked to other people. I mean, where I'll give, Dalen and Christian and Ben a lot of credit is, they got better, and they took coaching, and we gave them tips or ideas to get better. They embraced them, and and then if I got on them because I didn't think they were doing it, they were okay with it. So those guys put themselves in position to get better because they listened and they really worked hard. So, I mean, I think a lot of what we're going to see from this team is going to come down to that as well. And will guys individually get better? Will they take the coaching? I mean, I guess it's a wait and see.
With about 3 weeks left for your first exhibition game, is there anything in particular in practice you want to make sure you focus on a little bit more?
Everything. I mean, really, it's it. I mean, there's. I mean, some of these things will play out over the course of the year, and where your flaws will come to the surface. And then you'll try to address those, but right now you're focused on everything, getting ready to play, the things it takes to play in a 40-minute basketball game, and so we've got a lot of things we still got to touch on and install, and so the next few weeks will just be a focus on all that stuff.
How do you think the schedule came out the way it's lined up?
I mean, I think okay. Listen. Let's play the games. We're going to play the games that are on the schedule, and I definitely think we've scheduled well enough to give ourselves a chance to win an at-large bid. And if we perform well on our schedule, we probably have a chance to get a decent seed in the tournament. And I think those are the things you try to accomplish with your scheduling. But there's just a lot of moving parts in that scheduling game. It's not easy. It's just not easy, and sometimes what you ideally would want to do in a schedule and what realistically can happen are so far apart, your mind would be blown. So it's a work in progress, and we're still trying to get a feel for exactly how we want to kind of pin down, our non-conference schedule. But overall, I feel okay about where we're at this year.
Maui was something that previously had been on there.
Yeah.
Is that something you think you would like to continue with?
100%. I mean, you don't want to go? Well, I don't know. We'll see. We'll check to see how you write this article here. No, I'm joking. But no, of course. I mean, I love playing in those big neutral tournaments. I think they're incredible learning experiences for your team. I mean, you're literally going to have 120 minutes of hard basketball in a really short window. You're going to be fully exposed, and I think the teams that end up having great seasons utilize those tournaments as a great learning tool. So we're always going to try to play in the best tournaments we can in the preseason.
You talked about this How do you go about developing that in practice, develop that toughness?
I mean, you just, I mean, that's a abstract concept and an abstract question, huh? I mean, there's a certain way it needs to look and feel. And, you try to make sure you're getting your team prepared for that. And, to me, there's nothing more, that bums me out more than rolling out to play and just being physically outmatched. So what do we got to do to make sure when we tee it up, physically we can bring the fight. And so, to me, I mean, therein lies toughness, and it shows its way. I mean, it could be in how you take care of the ball. It could be in how you block out on the glass. I mean, it could be in just how you fight through fatigue. I mean, there's so many areas. You're just trying to constantly build your team up and make sure that, at least you're checking that box to be competitive in that aspect of the game, because that's literally the price of entry. Is you got to be tough.
Coach, you mentioned
I got.
we talked earlier, sorry, about Pella, and I was wondering specifically about Pella and Kerr in the FIFA games they played. They both played against Luka Doncic. I think Pella tried the game winner three at the buzzer, and Kerr has obviously a key role and a couple of other stuff. What those just experience? How much does that matter? Did they bring in personality?
Oh, yeah, I mean, I think they're great experiences. And, I think anytime you challenge yourself in a different setting and you get out on the court with, obviously elite players, a lot of positive things can come from that. And I think both those guys, have approached it this way. I think both, I have a sense that they're more confident than they were last year at this time. And, but you go back to the Red-Blue game, I don't know if Kerr made a shot. I think he and I have never talked about it, but I think it's a great lesson. Just because you've come back more confident and have more experience doesn't mean it's going to be easy. So yeah, but I'm glad those guys had that opportunity this summer. I mean, it's something we encourage them to do, and I think we'll benefit as a program for it, and I think they benefited as players.
And what did you make of the attention that Kerr got from his matchup with Luka?
I mean, it's Kerr. I pay no attention to the attention he gets. That's my quote for the day.
How do you embrace his personality?
I love him. I love him. He's easy to coach. The guy's fire. He's a fiery personality, and he brings it every day. He listens when you coach him. No, I love it. I think it's a good thing if your players want to win, and he wants to win, and he's not afraid of it. So, I'm sure he and I will sit down and talk at some point before the season. I think he's a really good player, so I don't think he has to go over top with the antics. I think his play will speak for itself, and but I love coaching him, and I'm thankful that we have him on the team.
Coach, you mentioned last year that two things. That Christian Coloco you thought could be in contention for Defensive Player of the Year, which is obviously a really good take, and you knew what good teams looked like, implying that this was a good team. Do you have anything like that for us this year?
Yeah, we got a good team. I mean, I believe we have a good team. I don't think we're what? Look who's interrupted. Oh my gosh! In a second. See, that's what I have to deal with. Yeah, just because I think we have a good team doesn't guarantee anything. But I love the pieces we have, and I think we're going to be a hard out. There's no doubt about that. As far as making bold predictions or things of that. I mean, Christian as a Defensive Player of the Year was not a bold prediction, by the way. No credit needed. But I think Pella could make a push for that this year. I think Pella's an elite perimeter defender. I think he can make that kind of impact. Umar continues to make progress. I think you guys saw in the Red-Blue game, he just seems like he's moving a little better and just more comfortable out there. And even since Red-Blue, he's continued to step it up, day by day. So, but at the end of the day, I'm more concerned about having a good defensive team, and obviously good individual defenders help that. But, executing a game plan and sticking to a plan and doing your job, all those coaching cliches, come into play when you're thinking about building a good defensive team. And we're definitely a work in progress there, but I'm optimistic.
What did you follow up on Umar, his development? Where does he improve the most offensive, defensively? What role do you expect him to play now with Christian Colocco on the league?
Well, I mean, you know, you basically asked for a lot of things there. I think I think Umar's going to have a good year. I think he's going to be a big impact at both ends of the floor. You know, I think the biggest area I would say his growth is just his belief in himself and in his work ethic to continue to fortify that belief has been impressive. So, you know, I hope he has a good year. He deserves to have a good year. Now he's got to go out and make it happen. And you know, I think he's just got a lot better playing on balance, and you know, and you know, getting his simple shots to go to the basket as opposed to, you know, falling away from the basket a little bit. Just a lot of little technique things here. But I'm excited for him. I mean, the kid will always have a special place in my heart. And I hope he gets what he wants out of basketball.
You remember if you were,
I got Greg. Wait, I got Greg here. What?
you remember if you were pro or con for the transfer portal when it was created?
Oh, man, do I remember? Greg, I'm always neutral. You know that. And in all honesty, I kind of am, because this is the thing. I don't get to make decisions on what the rules are or what the rules aren't. So you tell me what the rules are and what the playing field looks like, and then I got to find a way to, you know, take advantage of those opportunities for the University of Arizona. So that's how we've approached it. And I mean, it is what it is. If I don't like the transfer portal, you know what, it doesn't go away. And you know, I've always said I'm gonna, you know, I want to build our team with great high school players, you know, obviously some international players, and then, you know, we'll find the right transfers that can, you know, kind of help, you know, solidify our roster every year, and that's how I'm going to approach it. No.
We got a glimpse of Henry Bayslar in the Red Blue game. Certainly, you brought a lot of international players along. How does he compare to some of the ones? And is he somebody who can make a big impact right away, or is he somebody who you see potentially a couple years to develop?
You know, I mean, probably all of those. I mean, probably yes to everything you asked right there. I mean, I think the kid has tremendous potential. I mean, I think he can help the team this year, and I think he's going to, over the course of his career, he's going to really develop into a heck of a player. So, no, I mean, I'm excited to kind of see where it goes, but, you know, I don't want it to put too much on his shoulders. You know, I kind of want to let him show me that he's ready for the opportunity, and, you know, when we get opportunities here and there, we'll see how he does, and if he takes advantage of them, and, you know, the more comfortable he gets, probably the more opportunities will come. I mean, that's how I'm going to approach it with him.
Does anything stand out about this freshman class, or at least stages of practice, that you've kind of like been surprised about?
I mean, I think they're good basketball players. You know, I think there's obviously a steep learning curve, you know, for all of them, you know, and you know, I'm excited that they're here, and we're having fun working with them, and I hope we can, you know, deliver and give them, you know, all the things they want to get out of college basketball. I mean, that's kind of where I'm at right now with all them, and you know, we're throwing a lot at them right now, and they seem to be doing fine, you know. But the next month obviously is the ultimate indicator, and then the rest of the season will play out after that.
What are you hoping from Wall? Last year he came on the scene late, shot very well, and then he kind of stays under the radar.
He's not under my radar. I mean, I'm expecting him to really help the team and be in the rotation this year. And you know, Adama's somebody, you know, that I really like, and I've continued to ask him to make changes and kind of grow certain areas of his game that aren't easy changes to make, and he seems to embrace them. And you know, so we're kind of working through those processes right now. But I feel by the time, you know, November comes, I think he's going to be a mainstay, and you know, we'll have an opportunity to impact every single game.
And what are those changes? What are those changes to the team?
We keep those in-house. I mean, just obviously technique things and, you know, things of that nature. Nothing crazy, but to take time for a young player.
What kind of intangibles have you seen out of Courtney?
Well, Courtney's obviously got a lot of experience, and Courtney's just a really good person. He's just a high character, good person, and it's a joy to coach him every day. He comes in, and you know, he can look you in the eye, and you know, and just smiles, and then goes out and plays extremely hard. I mean, I think our fan base is going to fall in love with him. You know, there's not a lot of glitz and glamour there, but there's a lot of substance, and I think he's going to have a really good season for us. And I've been happy with what I've seen so far, and you know, and continue to be able to, coach him a little bit more and figure out what buttons to push. And I think there's a lot more on Courtney to give, and I think he's going to give it to us this year.
Is there an update how's Kylan doing and hasn't cleared yet?
Hasn't been cleared yet, but he's doing great. It's obviously, you talk about a steep learning curve. I mean, he should be in high school, and he's, injured. So I think this him watching as we put things in practice and then little conversations we're having, he's definitely coming along, and he's starting to get a better understanding just to be able to verbalize things and to be able to hear them and process them. You're probably talking about a kid who's, obviously put a lot of work in on his game, but he probably just hooped, for the most part. And so now when you take the hooping away and you have to, access basketball, through your mind, it could be a little different, but he's really come a long way in the last month or two with that, and I don't think he's far off.
Last one, so that you guys out to play.
When you're a freshman or a newcomer, how long does it take for you to know kind of what you got?
37 practices. No, I don't know. I mean, a lot of it, Jason, is I love watching them work through their struggles. So I don't really put like hard parameters on it. And listen, I'll never ever quit on a kid, ever. Like if he's got an Arizona uniform on and he's coming to practice every day, we're going to give him everything we got. And I'm hopeful the breakthrough is right around the corner if he's struggling. So I don't have like a hard line on that. If you're asking, like, I love every player in our program right now. I think everything we've talked about in the recruiting process is all still available to them. It just sometimes happens at different points for different guys. But I'm excited. I'm excited because we have a great group of guys. You guys will get out there with them today. You'll see they're easy to be around. They're fun to be around, and I also think they're good basketball players. And when we put it all together, I think they form a pretty good team.